only now reappearing as the euphoria of the revolution wears off.
We want a law which says if someone commits a crime, he will be punished, whether he is Muslim or Christian. As Copts, we have never destroyed a mosque because our religion has taught us to be forgiving.
The rising unrest between the two communities is now putting extra strain on the military. As the new government meets for the first time, restoring law and order and addressing this growing violence will be top of their agenda. But until they see real change, Egypt's Coptic Christians continue their call for equal rights in a Muslim-majority country. Charlie Angela, Al Jazeera.
Egyptian opposition figure Mohammed al-Baradei has confirmed he will run for president in elections later this year. But he says he'll vote against constitutional amendments in a referendum on March 19th, calling instead for an entirely new constitution. Well, in particular, he criticised Article 75, which poses strict limits on who can run for president.
I want the door open for everybody to have the chance to run for this, and I reject the fact that some very good scholars, very good people that will be deprived of this right. Also, this Article 75 has a retroactive effect, which means there is no even that will be that's very unfair. These are the amendments that we do not agree with. That's why the amendments are flawed.
Pro-democracy protesters in Yemen say the latest killing of a protester there has hardened their opposition to President Ali Abdullah Saleh. Security forces opened fire on Tuesday night on people rallying outside Sana'a University. At least 75 were wounded. Hashim Ahlabarra reports from Sana'a.
Security beefed up around the university square. Fury building in the aftermath of the deadly assault by security forces on these protesters. Spent ammunition and tear gas canisters litter the ground. The government says its act was prompted by the discovery of a cache of weapons. Allegations dismissed by the students who erected tents in this square, which has become the epicenter of the pro-democracy movement.
It was organised crime. Groups of security forces came from all directions and armed soldiers were positioned on the roofs of buildings. They started firing on us. It was followed by volleys of shots. It's a crime against humanity.
Violence is spreading across the country. In the province of Dhamar, a President Saleh stronghold, loyalists are seen here attacking the protesters despite the presence of security forces. Government pledges to stop the violence fail to deter loyalists armed with weapons, batons and daggers, spreading fear across the country. The ongoing attacks spurred these tribal leaders in the province of Marib to denounce President Saleh and join the protesters in their fight for a change in Yemen. Marib is home to most of Yemen's oil fields.
Mr. President, don't treat your people like Gaddafi. Mr. Saleh, don't disgrace your legacy. We implore you to leave Yemen and let the Yemenis decide their future.
For the time being, the embattled president clings to power. He has called for a national forum on Thursday to seek a peaceful solution to Yemen's deepening crisis.
But the crisis isn't showing any signs of relenting. Parts of the country appear to be slipping beyond the control of the government, and the protesters reject calls for dialogue with President Saleh still in power. Hashim Ahlabarra, Al Jazeera, Sana'a.
Morocco's King Mohammed VI has made a rare national address on state television. He announced what he calls comprehensive constitutional reform, establishing a commission to report back to him by June. Well, thousands of Moroccans rallied last month, demanding limits on the king's powers.
I am addressing my people today because I feel the gravity of the situation and the developments happening to our democratic system. I also want to talk about a review of our constitution and the reforms that referendum on the constitution. We have been discussing a lot of constitutional reviews since we ascended to the throne.
A Tunisian court has dissolved the political party of ousted President Zain al-Abidine Ben Ali. The Constitutional Democratic Rally, or RCD, was suspended last month pending the court's ruling. Nazanin Moshiri reports from Tunis.
Celebrations outside a Tunis courthouse. This is the moment many have been waiting for. The RCD, which ruled with the former President Ben Ali for 23 years, no longer exists.
This is an extraordinary end to a party that once had the membership of more than 2 million people. These people say they no longer want to be associated with the remnants of Tunisia's past regime.
In the past week, the country has gone further than Egypt to rid itself of an apparatus linked to decades of repression, dismantling the nation's political police and preparing to rewrite the constitution.
Today is a new era, a new country, a new page in our history, in our democracy, in our everything. Today we are building our heritage, our culture, our life. Today, the people, they say no, no, no.
Mohamed Ghariani is the highest-ranking member of this now dissolved party. He accepts the decision and for the first time makes this admission.
I apologize for all the bad things people from the RCD have done towards any citizens, any Tunisian man or woman, and I invite people to open a new page to former RCD members.
But there are members of this once powerful institution who won't give up so easily. One lawyer told me only the RCD can protect Tunisia from what he calls the Islamist threat.
What is left for the Tunisians? Ennahda, the Islamist party, has the offices which are the mosques. It has the Islamic rhetoric, which Tunisians accept easily. And now there is a political vacuum.
There will be an appeal, but it's unlikely to succeed. In the past few months, there have been so many historic moments in Tunisia. March 9th will be remembered as yet another end of an era. Nazanin Moshiri, AlJazeera, Tunis.
An attack on a funeral procession in Pakistan has killed dozens of people. Our report on that coming up. And breaking the habit, how the British government wants to blank out the nation's nicotine addiction.
A debilitating condition afflicting millions of women across the developing world.
Sometimes it is not possible to cure a patient with fistula. We have to prepare her psychologically.
Revealing the human stories behind fistula and its intimate connection to poverty. Exploring global maternal health, birth rights, at this time on AlJazeera.
Whether it's nature or man-made, an event or a memory, time affects our perception and tests our will. Places we go and things we see determine what we know and who we are.